I personally hate it when my wife tells me what to say or not say right in front of the kids. I showed her your article and she really got it for the first time. I feel like you saved our marriage and our kids at the same time. Thank you. Yes, it's really a common issue in homes that parents correct each other in front of the children. They usually have good intentions. They're trying to save their child from some bad parenting technique. But the rule is only correct your spouse if your spouse is being abusive. And by abusive, I mean your spouse is doing something that a family service agency would define as abusive. Your spouse is physically harming your child, for example, or your spouse is using a form of emotional abuse that is so horrendous that a family service worker would say that it was unacceptable. People do things all the time that are not abusive, but they're not great. Okay? Now, this is when we don't want to correct a spouse. If your spouse is using just a poor parenting technique, you probably use a poor parenting technique on occasion as well. We all do. Sometimes we raise our voice. Okay, now we shouldn't, but it can be a mistake. In that moment, we don't want to correct our spouse for using that poor technique. We can have a talk later on, privately, about how maybe there's a better way to parent and so on, but not in front of the child. Or you might be making another mistake. Your spouse might be making a mistake of picking a form of discipline that is not what you would pick, or saying something which is not what you would say. And we just have to let our spouses do these things because they're human. They're doing things their way. They're not you. And they have a right to parent differently and imperfectly, just like you do. The only time we correct a spouse right in front of the kids is when the spouse is actually being abusive.